The summer growing season has ended here in North Alabama. We had one of our earlier freezes. It's very unusual to have a freeze here in mid-October, but that's what happened. We actually had a freeze here before Billings, Montana had a freeze. And so what happened was all our summer annuals are done. We've got to transition to fall annuals, and that's what I'm going to walk you through in this particular video. Hey, I'm Dr. Tom Warren and you're watching The Plant Doctor. We're going to be planting pansies today along with some bulbs that will come up late winter, early spring, and I want to walk you through that whole process. I do a lot of bed prep in the fall for things that we're going to be doing during the spring and things that we want to prevent from happening in the spring. This is a great time to go into your annual beds and do prep. If you've been following the channel here, you know what I like to do with this perennial garden here. It's very much a cottage style garden. It's let things grow, weep over, grow into each other, over the top of each other. Now's the time to start cleaning some of that up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go through and deadhead some of these black-eyed Susans. We're not going to cut off the foliage of the black-eyed Susans. We still want the light to come through and hope photosynthesis and collecting sugars and all that good stuff can still happen. The Bermuda grass has come up into the annual bed as well. So Bermuda gets runners. I kind of let those go. They were hidden underneath the coleus and the vinca that we had out here. And so now is a very good time while the grass is somewhat dormant to go in and start to remove some of that. And that's the first step that we're going to do today. So the tools you need to do that job, you need a hoe. So I've got two types here. I've got a flat one, and then I also have one that has an edge on it as well. I'm going to start with the one with the edge. And you just want to go through and turn over these runners. And the same's true with zoysia grass. Here in the southeastern United States, we tend to grow Bermuda and zoysia. You're not going to see this as much with like Kentucky bluegrass or ryegrass. Some of our friends up north may not have to do this. But if you have Bermuda or zoysia, it's a good idea just to go ahead and loosen some of this up. Redefine your bed line. So once you've gone through and kind of turned over the edge of your annual bed, go through and try to pick out any rhizomes or stolons that are left, because these do have the potential, once the ground warms up in the spring, to potentially root back. So we just want to go through and kind of filter through. See, there's a long one right there that has roots on it. We definitely want to get that one out. And this looks pretty good. So the next step you want to do, any other plant material that's hanging over your annual bed, go through and prune that back a little bit, especially if you're doing a cottage style garden thing like we have here. So I'm going to go through, I'm just going to deadhead these black-eyed Susans. So now that we've removed the Bermuda rhizomes and stolons that were in the annual bed, we've pruned back the black-eyed Susans, we're ready to actually start to prep this with some media. So what I have over here is we're going to do equal parts peat moss to pine bark. So I buy this pine bark in bulk. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy it by the bag as well. But there's a place right around the corner from me, a landscape yard. I can buy this for like $40 for a yard, and I just always have it on hand. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 1 scoop of pine bark to 1 scoop of peat moss. So you'll want to do that 1 scoop of peat moss to 1 scoop of pine bark until you get a depth of about 3 to 4 inches. We want our annual beds to be elevated from the native or natural ground just a little bit. Pansies in particular are susceptible to root rot, things like botrytis and pythium. And so what we're doing here, we're raising the flower bed just a little bit to provide some drainage. We're adding some pine bark to provide some drainage, but you don't want it completely dry. So we've added some peat moss into that for a little bit of moisture retention, but what's not going to happen is this bed will not remain saturated. Also, I would discourage you from planting pansies into your native soil. These are only going to be in the ground for maybe 6 months. And you don't want all the energy of the plant going to trying to establish in hard, compact, native soil. So if we can provide them with some ease of rooting into some media, that's going to encourage that plant to put on more foliage during the limited amount of time that we have it. So what I want to do is just blend the peat moss and the pine bark. And sometimes peat moss will clump a little bit like this. So you may have to come through with a shovel or your hand and just bust those clumps up a little bit. Any remaining trash you see in your bed, feel free to remove that. And what we want to do is just get this bed nice and smooth. No low spots. No high spots, just a nice, even, consistent height that here again is elevated in comparison to the ground that's around it. If you're doing a bulb and fall annual combo like we're doing today, you want to plant your bulbs first. Once your bed is prepped, once you've gone through that entire prep process, plant your bulbs first. So today we're going to plant some daffodils and some allium, purple allium, and some hyacinths. So what is this doing for me? These are going to bloom in late winter, early spring for me. If you look on a USDA temperature zone map, what you're going to see is in my area where I'm at, I'm in a microclimate. I'm in the city, and technically we're 8A, but if you go 5 miles down the road, we're 7B. You get out in the country a little bit away from the concrete and the asphalt, it's just enough to make it 7B. So I'm in 8A. So the daffodils and the allium, they're going to play off each other. It's going to be a nice yellow and purple combo. The hyacinths, it's a mixed bag. So we've got some reds and some blues and pinks and whites. But the main reason I want these, they are extremely fragrant. I'm a big fan of fragrance in the garden. I have a tea olive behind me that does nice fragrance in the fall. I want something that has nice fragrance in the early spring, and this is going to provide that. So on those warm afternoons when we've been inside all winter and we're looking to get outside, we can sit on the patio, enjoy the color, and also enjoy the fragrance. So to plant these, what I'm going to be using is a Pro Plugger, and I'll make sure to leave a link for this down in the description below. This is a tool that I've kind of fallen in love with. I transplant grass with it. I'm going to plant bulbs with it. I've planted annuals with it as well. Just a great all-around tool. So if you're looking for a tool to plant bulbs, look into Pro Plugger. So what we want to do is I'm just going to go through here, and on about 1 foot centers, I'm just going to start making holes. Okay, now that we have our daffodils and our allium opened up, we're going to take a handful of daffodils. Nice healthy bulbs here. Those are really nice daffodil bulbs. clean out this hole I dug just a little bit. Stick my bulb down in there, cover it up. And a pro tip, if you're going to plant pansies back over the bulbs, like we're going to do here, where you just put a bulb, put a marking flag. So that way when we come back through with our pansies, we're not putting a pansy on top of a bulb. We want the pansies to be in and around the bulbs. Obviously, one of the last steps that we'll do here as we're cleaning up is remove the flags. We're not going to leave the flags in here all winter, but this is just a good way to mark where your bulbs are when you come back across with your pansies so that you're not double planting on top of the same spot. Have our bulbs in, we're going to first put mulch down over the top of our bed. So whatever you're going to top dress your bed with, put it down before you put the pansies in. I started doing this years ago. This was a pro tip handed down to me from somebody that had been doing landscapes for dozens of years. Instead of putting the annuals in and then trying to get the mulch in and around the plants, put the mulch down first and then put the plants in, and that's what we're going to do. So what I'm using today is pine bark mini nuggets. So this is a very fine textured pine bark. And we want enough just to really cover up the ground. So you're not putting inches of this stuff down here. Again, this is just a top dress. So all I'm going to do is literally just take little handfuls, spread it around evenly throughout the bed, just to give the bed a uniform texture and color before we put in our pansies. Our bed's now ready to put in some pansies, and a pro tip here. When taking pansies out of a pot, what I do not want you to do is just grab the vegetation and pull it out. You may pull out the leaves and leave the roots. Some of these can be pot bound or root bound. So what I want you to do, massage the pot, turn the plant upside down, put the vegetation between like your middle finger and ring finger. So if you can do like Spock and do the Vulcan sign and just kind of lower it down like that. Now, that's ready to plant. And easy enough. I use a hand trowel. You could use a pro plugger. You could use a small shovel as well. But this dirt, we've worked it so much over the years. It's really soft and airable. So I should just be able to loosely or easily move this soil around, put that pansy in. And you do not want to plant your pansies too low. Make sure the top of the root ball is at least level, if not slightly higher than the bed that you're planting it in. The way that I'm going to go about planting these, there's no rhyme or reason in terms of like alternating colors or really even spacing. I think the more natural look looks better. So I'm going to more or less get these on about a foot apart from each other. And then they'll grow a little bit here in October and November, then they won't grow much at all in December and January. Starting in February into March, they'll grow and they'll almost be a complete mat across here in terms of vegetation and having a little color as well. bit, let's talk about plant nutrition. What am I doing to these pansies throughout the winter? Initially, I'm going to fertilize with a liquid fertilizer. I'm just going to water over the top. I'm going to do that today. And that's really going to be about it. You do not want to put a whole lot of fertilizer on your pansies because on days like this, it's 80-something degrees right now. They're going to grow and they're going to stretch and get leggy and they're not going to look great. Give them a little bit to get established and then leave them alone. In our summer annual program, what we did, we put in a slow release fertilizer and then we were hitting them with liquid fertilizer like every 2 weeks, just boom, boom, boom. And we grew these huge coleus that are now dead because of the freeze. We can't do pansies that way. It's just not gonna work. So we're gonna more or less leave these alone. I'm gonna water them as needed. So I'll do the finger test. I'll stick my finger down in the soil to the 3rd digit. And if I feel moisture at the tip of my index finger, I'm not gonna water. If it's dry, I'll water. And when you water, you wanna saturate it, thoroughly water. Don't just spritz it. Give it some good water, let it completely dry out, and water again. And that's it. Just wanted to walk you guys through how to properly plant pansies and bulbs together so that as you come out of late winter, early spring, your garden can just be gorgeous. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor. And until next time, happy gardening.